Aloha everyone, what is really good my dudes? Today is November 9th, 2020. We got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today we see the 14th Ninja Strike revolving around Wiki integration. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, before we get started on the Ninja Strike, I just want to mention that Jagex has added limits to the Oddments store shop. They say as part of the ongoing efforts to balance the game, the following Oddments store items are now subject to a daily minimum buy cap. Medium lamps can only be bought 30 a day, stars 50 a day, pulse cores 40 a day, along with cinder cores. Your small protean packs can only be bought 30 a day, and keys as well 30 a day. The cap will reset each day, after which you'll be able to purchase these items again up to the cap once more. So it's an interesting choice that they've done this. I suppose it's good, especially with the 75% off going on fairly frequently. You can really stock up if you have a lot of oddments on a bunch of XP, bonus XP, things like that. So having a cap, I don't think anybody would be opposed to that. But it is worth noting, you know, if you are somebody who does take advantage of those 75% off, you are going to have this limitation. Anyways, having said that, let's talk about the actual update today, the Ninja Strike, and let's talk about what they've changed with the Wiki functionality. So to start off, there's added a new Wiki button on the right hand side of your chat input box. Simply clicking on this button is going to activate the search. Then you want to type in any terms that you want to look up on the wiki, hit enter, and then obviously a wiki page will pop up with your search term. This is identical to the existing /wiki feature, which still will work as an alternative. However, it's much more visible and more player facing. Now on the desktop, the button can be toggled on and off in the message and social menu under your chat customizations. Desktop users can also choose to keybind this in the controls interface. On the other hand, on mobile, this button is located on the left menu when you have the full screen chat mode activated. They do say that the size of the chat input box has been slightly increased on desktop in order to make room for the Wiki button. And there is a known issue, so keep that in mind. The right hand portion of the Wiki button is not registering clicks if you have the click through chat boxes setting toggled on. And it is something they're working to rectify, but just know that if you're somebody who opts in for click through your chat box, you want to click on the left hand side of that Wiki button in order to interact with its new function. That said, we're going to shift on over to some general quality of life changes that the ninjas have done with today's update. To start off, partially eaten jellyfish can now be combined together using War's decant option. You can also do this with a new fisherman found near the jellyfish spot in the deep sea fishing hub. The deposit and bank boxes in the Menafos VIP as well as the port area will now allow you to deposit all of your fish, similar to how the deep sea fishing hub has that option with the nets. You can now right click or long press in the Herbie Werby shop to purchase multiple lamps or ancient seeds. Mechanized Chinchampas will no longer be lost on death and can be reclaimed from death or from gravestones. Robin in Port Plasmatis now has the option to auto-convert all bones to bone meal and slime. Robin is also able to convert noted bones to noted bone meal and slime. Firelords and ladies no longer appear erroneously as a separate entry in the Slayer Codex. And the Personal Slayer Dungeon Ouija board can now be only used while in build mode. That is it for the main game update. We're going to shift on over the patch notes and see what's been changed with today's update, so let's go ahead and check it out. Starting off with Tutorial Island, the chat window is now cleared of preliminary login messages when arriving in the main game from Tutorial Island. The mobile top level UI is now gradually revealed as the player makes progress on Tutorial Island. The text in the minimap tutorial is now less ambiguous. A pair of obstructive chairs has been removed from the starting area on Tutorial Island. An overlay which cycles between the core camera and interaction controls has been added to Tutorial Island, replacing the preliminary camera pop-up which could be dismissed permanently. As they were too frequent before, achievement complete pop-ups no longer occur for path achievements. Completing an entire path, with the exception of the Tutorial Island path, will still trigger the completion pop-up. The RuneScape guide has been renamed Reginald to make it clear who you're supposed to speak to. Likewise, the survival expert has now been named Bryna. Both of the above will now wave to attract your attention. Interacting with the door near the RuneScape guide no longer force walks you into conversation, but will still remind you of your objective. Interacting with a tree near the survival expert will do the same. The initial camera zoom when starting Tutorial Island has been zoomed out further. Input terminology on Tutorial Island has been updated to comply with mobile gesture compliance guidelines. Activity tracker instructions during the Survival Expert section of Tutorial Island are now clearer. Woodcutting and fishing on Tutorial Island will now immediately display an overhead message to notify the user instead of a delayed object box. The Activity Tracker parent tab is now locked while on Tutorial Island. And finally, the Activity Tracker parent tab is now locked while on Tutorial Island. Moving on to some changes to the Orphan Dig site, time-worn tinctures can now be bought in noted form from the Archaeology Guild shop. The Lorehound pet now provides an increased chance to find lore pages while excavating. The timer for the Power Burst of Opportunity has been extended from 9.6 seconds to 15 seconds to allow players to better time its use around reaching 100% focus while excavating an archaeology location. Mr. Mordeau no longer turns to face the player during a certain section of dialogue. The bonfire in the southeast of Anachronia no longer references spooky wookie vampires. And the pyramids in Zolo City will no longer have interact options if the mystery has been progressed. Moving on to some achievement improvements. Unchecking the Show Complete checkbox in the achievement interface will now remove complete steps in achievement dropdowns, making it much easier to see what you have left to complete. The Feats subcategory in the Achievements interface has been upgraded to a full category, with subcategories for hidden achievements such as Clue Logs, Boss Logs, Slayer Logs, the Silver and Gold Warden titles, and Breeding the Player-Owned Farm Raven Swarm traits. A Boss Pet subcategory has been added to the achievement system and can be found in the Combat category. Completing boss subcategories is no longer dependent on getting a rare pet drop. Changed the prerequisite quest for the Kitty Litter achievement from Rat Catchers to Gertrude's Cat, as you can use a kitten as well as an adult cat. Updated the text in What's Mine is Also Doric achievement to have the correct smithing requirement. Removed extraneous quote characters surrounding the names of the 16 Manifest insect collection objects. Changed the skill requirement for the Not Waving But Drowning achievements. It now requires 57 runecrafting. The General's Shadow achievement has been removed as a requirement for the Quest Cape achievement because it prevented players from claiming their quest capes. At the request of players, the Mobilize This achievement has been reinstated. The Death Plateau and Druidic Ritual achievements are now completed if the pre-rework versions of these rework quests are complete. The Supply and Demand achievement now references the Death Plateau achievement instead of the quest so that the pre-rework version is a valid prerequisite. The Tazar Boss Collection log has been renamed Tiz Talk Jad and Haraken to avoid confusion with the Tazar Slayer Collection log, which was added afterwards. The Who Wants to Watch the Watchtower achievement now requires completion of the Watchtower quest. The Properly Metal achievement now includes the World Wake as a prerequisite quest. Titles earned from the player-owned ports will no longer remove themselves upon login. Fixed an issue where not completing the Following in the Footsteps achievement during the grace period would cause the Master Quest Cape progression bar to be empty. Fixed an issue which caused the incorrect achievement to be displayed under the Tracking tab when it was favorited. And finally fixed an issue where the At 1 plus 55 with Nature achievement required 91 crafting. It now correctly requires 91 rune crafting. Moving on to a couple of mobile changes. Gesture icons have been added to mobile interaction and camera control pop-ups and the mobile controls primer. And some text has been shortened in the Welcome to RuneScape mobile controls interface to address localization issues. Finally, some other improvements. Trees around Gielinor have been despookified, and the Draenor Manor grounds has been despookified as much as possible, although the spine-tingling graphical rework remains. That is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below. Head on over there and check them out. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Because I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.